Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of YouTube Take. I'm your illustrious host, Big Rat 3 with my two guests here.
What's up, y'all? Nightmareballa1.
What up, what up, what up?
Well, we'll just get right into it, and I'll preface this right now. To those people that really dislike the college football to football ratio,
Y'all mad this week.
y'all gonna be pissed. I'll tell you right now, fast forward just 30 minutes in, because you're not gonna see any NFL for quite a bit. We're gonna recap one of the biggest college football weekends in college football history.
I'll say this. I've been following the sport for 25 years. I remember a great deal of what I've been following. And I can't think of a weekend bigger than the one I saw this past Thanksgiving weekend. My Jesus. Oh, my God. So much shit happened. So many great games. And it just drives home the fact that this sport is better than that dull sport y'all watch on Sundays. I'm kidding.
Hater.
Well, if it's so much better, how come a large portion of the American public can't get behind it?
Because two reasons.
Because of BCS. BCS.
Hold on, nigga. I was gonna get to that. Calm down. I was gonna get to that. Even before the BCS, it was hard because it is not an easy way in a football in the sport of football with as many teams, with as many good records, and as many conferences and colleges around the country to come up with a cohesive way to put together a playoff system that A, does not make the regular season extremely short or extremely worthless, or B, is very tasking and telling on the athletes' bodies. It's damn near impossible to do it. And the other reason is that in the Northeast, college football ain't that big a deal. If you think about it, football is kind of not that big a deal in the Northeast until recently with New England and things like that. Like before, it wasn't a staple up there. Like that was a baseball area, So now it's just turning into where football matters with the Giants, things like that. But there are no dominant college football teams up there except Ohio State. It's just
that's pushing
and the North
that's pushing the Northeast. That's the Northeast.
What? Well, yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. I mean that area, the North, all that, the Midwest, all that stuff.
Yeah,
like all the way from Maine to Illinois, all that.
This is true.
It's just hard when there are no teams to talk about up there. It just is what it is.
Markeem is right on all these things. I should preface though, because I didn't really get the conferences until this year. The conferences really aren't that bad if you follow the five main ones. As long as you follow Big 12, Big 10, Pac-12, ACC, SEC.
Well, truthfully, there are six if you count the American Conference this year.
Okay,
but it won't matter after next. It won't matter after next year.
Well, my point is, you don't really have to fully divest your energy into the American Conference, into the MAC Conference, into all these random obscure conferences that never produce a quality team. I mean, they're just afterthoughts in my opinion. As long as you focus on Big 12, Big 10, ACC, SEC, Pac-12, you're set. And it's not that hard.
Unless you're a nut like me that watches too much. So.
Well, you're an idiot. You're also crazy, but never mind. But anyways, we'll step right into it and we'll go down, there's a bunch of games, and we'll go down the big stories one by one. First listing the games that Marquis was talking about.
All right, Phil?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry. Quick question.
What?
We actually have a couple Ask.fm questions.
Oh,
you want to do those?
We'll save those. We're gonna save those for before the games, after we cover the news.
Okay.
I like that idea though. Okay, well, I'll just go into the bigger games this week. We'll talk about the stories, obviously. As far as big games and fun games that were really good. We had on Friday LSU and Arkansas. LSU won 31-27.
Oh my God, I felt so bad for our buddy, the Matt Beast.
We're getting there. We're getting there. I felt bad too. LSU, Arkansas. LSU won 31-27. Then we had, I didn't see this game. I don't know if Markeem did, Oregon and Oregon State.
That game was incredible.
Which had the final score of 36-35. And then obviously on Saturday we had the two big ones, Ohio State, Michigan, 42-41. And Auburn, Bama, 34-28. And let's not forget later at night, Stanford, Notre Dame, 27-20. Stanford and Missouri, Texas A&M, 28-21. Missouri. Okay, now we'll go into it. Obviously, we'll go with...
And?
South Carolina, Clemson.
Clemson, top 10 matchup. I'm just
Yes,
saying.
but
that was an ass whooping though.
yes.
Because they choked.
The whole point of this was to talk about great games.
And
right.
we're gonna get to them because
Yes.
I got something to say.
Well, we're gonna cover it.
Dabble, Sweeney, and all them. But
We're going to cover it. But Carolina won 31-17 over Clemson. But first, we'll go big to little. Obviously, the biggest story of the weekend, probably the biggest story of the year. Some people are calling it. Some people have labeled it as one of the greatest games in the history of college football. Some have labeled it the greatest game in the history of college football. The finish has been called not only the greatest finish in the history of college football, not only the greatest finish in the history of football, but some have gone as far as to say the greatest finish in the history of sports. Vern Lundquist said this now ranks as his tied.
Yeah, the greatest game he ever called.
He said this is the greatest college football game he ever called, and he said this ranks up there with Jack Nicklaus winning the Masters in 1986. This is his two favorite sports memories of all time.
Did you hear his voice crack when he was calling that return?
Yeah.
I was like, this is the most epic. Like, I've never heard him get that hype for anything.
Yeah.
I haven't heard the radio thing. I couldn't find it.
You said what?
I haven't heard the radio call yet.
What do you mean the radio? No, he was the CBS broadcaster.
Okay.
Like, Vern Lundquist lost his shit, man. I've never seen him get that hype for anything. He's always so robotic and kind of boring. But
if you haven't seen it, and if you haven't, what's wrong with you? Obviously,
I was at a certain other facility that night.
Did you eventually see it?
They showed it. Well, no, I haven't seen any footage. I've seen the footage over and over again. I just haven't heard the call.
Okay. But so basically, what happened was Alabama. First off, Auburn. Basically, to recap the game in a way, Alabama was up 21-7. Auburn scored right before halftime and make it 21-14. Auburn tied the game. Then Bama went up 28-21. Then Bama the whole game had missed 3 field goals. One in the first quarter, one in the third quarter, one in the fourth quarter. The last one that was missed was blocked. And so with it being 28-21, I think on 2 different drives, Nick Saban, instead of electing to kick like a 30-yard field goal, elects to go for it on 4th down to try to extend the drive. He misses it both times. And then on the last drive of the game, the second last drive of the game, Auburn drives down to tie it 28-all. And then finally, Nick Saban's driving down. He gives a run to TJ Yeldon. Yeldon runs out of bounds with exactly 1 second left on the clock. And originally they called it game over. They said, okay, game over. Yeldon ran out of bounds.
Which is one of the most clutch plays I've ever seen a running back make. He's not getting enough credit for that.
That is true.
Like, how many young running backs, just have the presence of mind to just be able to step out of bounds exactly at one?
None. Yes.
He was looking at the clock and looking down because he still had more space. He took a calculated risk. He decided, I'm going to stop running and give us a chance to do something here. Because I might get tackled.
So he, whatchamacallit? So basically what happened on that drive was Alabama was like at their own 30, at their own 40. There was like 10 seconds left on the clock. Everyone thought the game was going into overtime. They call a run play to Yeldon, and Yeldon gets a big gain. And Yeldon runs out of bounds with 1 second left. It gets called game over. Saban then challenges it and says, no, there was 1 second left on the clock. And he wins the challenge, and with his 1 second on the clock, on Auburn's 40-yard line, he declares he tries to kick a 57-yard field goal with the backup kicker because the first kicker had been missing all game. The backup kicker actually launched a decent kick. I feel like that part of the story is obviously being covered up, but I think that ball goes in if the field goal is 50 yards, 52 yards. But anyways, he's just a little short, and obviously Chris Davis, the Auburn returner, grabs it and runs straight to the end zone to score.
When you describe it, I have my hair is standing up on my heart.
I don't do it justice. Auburn won 34-28. I was watching it in a sports bar with my friends, and we all thought the kick was going in at first. And I was just like, oh fuck! And then he catches it, and none of us thought anything of it. And then he slowly goes down the sideline, and you keep thinking to yourself, wait a minute, no. And then,
somebody's gonna push him out. He's gonna get tackled. This is not happening.
And then he breaks the last tackle and veers slightly to the right to get ahead of all the Bama special teams. The entire bar I was in went apeshit. I believe I yelled, "Oh my God," 5 times, and the whole bar just absolutely lost its shit. This game isn't big in Florida. I mean, obviously it's big for the national scene because those are two very important teams. But it's not like Florida specifically had a special attachment to either team. Yeah, we hate Nick Saban, but not enough to care whether or not Bama. I mean, I do, but the general public not enough to care whether or not Bama won or lost. But man, the whole game I was watching that game and like no one was making noise for anything. But man, when he broke for that drive, everybody just lost it. There was everyone stormed the field. It was crazy. I went on Twitter and there were people who I didn't even know people who I follow for like pro wrestling and MMA, not even for college football, were just going apeshit. Everybody up and down all over the country was just going insane. It was an incredible finish, and now Auburn has beaten Alabama. Alabama, by the way, is now I think 7-6 in November the past 5 years or something like that. They're not good in November, and we'll get to that in a second. And what? Actually,
no, I was just gonna say they were tied, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were tied.
They were tied, and so Auburn wins. Auburn goes to the SEC championship game. They win the conference. They win their division after going 0-7 in the SEC last year, placing last in the SEC East last year. SEC West last year. Bama doesn't even get to go to the SEC title game, much less the national championship game. Marquis, thoughts? I mean, I don't know more to say.
Nick Saban coached the worst game of his career on Saturday. He made okay. I felt like he was very indecisive. Like you decide your kicking game is non-existent. We're not even going to attempt to kick. Yet you decide to let a backup come in and attempt a 57-yard field goal and don't instruct the kids, hey, if he catches that football, we cannot let him get to the end zone. Like we have to, you know what I mean? We kick the ball and then we run. That's what most people teach. But he didn't do any of that. But it was the oddest. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Auburn, but that was a ridiculous situation. All that could have been avoided. That whole scenario could have been avoided. Take a knee, go to overtime. That's all you had to do. Your kicking game has been so bad all game. Just take a fucking knee and go and beat them in overtime. Y'all could have did it. They've been riding emotion this entire game. You guys are the better team. Usually in overtime, the better team ends up winning. That's usually what happens. And I don't get why he just didn't take. You don't trust A.J. McCarron in overtime? Your senior quarterback, your 3-time national champion, you don't trust him in overtime? Really? You don't? You don't trust this guy?
Here's the
my bad. You 2-time national. My bad. 2-time.
Go ahead. Are you done, Marquis? I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm done. It just doesn't make any. I got more to say, but go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, here's the thing that I don't like. Of course you're hearing both sides. Like, why do you kick a 57-yard field goal into the game? Or not into the game essentially, but in a regulation, you're going for to win it, and so you don't go into overtime against your arch rival. There's different side. Throw a Hail Mary, blah blah blah. Another scenario happened again. Of course, it didn't end this way, but the next day in NFL. But in this game, it's like. Everybody says, why do you kick? One, I agree with you. Nick Saban made the worst coaching decision he's ever made in his life. I know the players have to, be able to be aware, but it's if they're not told to watch the blocker, things like that, you just can't. You can't let that happen. Bottom line.
It should never happen at the end of a game.
And the odds of it, first of all, the odds of it happening once is far enough anyway. For it to happen again, who knows when we'll ever see that again? I don't even know the last time it actually happened in a major game. Probably, I don't even know if ever. Has it ever happened?
I've seen that before, but not to end a game.
No, yeah, not like that.
That's what I'm talking about. In a game, clearly you see field goal returns all the time, but I'm talking about to end the game. My thing about the kick is a 57-yard field goal. Your other kickers have been missing kicks all game. I don't understand why he did it. I'm with you. I say run it, knee it, whatever. Go. I mean, not necessarily knee it, but it's 1 second, so you can knee it. Knee it, go to the overtime. I know you don't want to battle in overtime. And there's a certain game we'll talk about later about the whole battle in overtime thing. But I don't understand. My thing is, Nick Saban knows he's got to know he's smart enough to let's go to overtime. Let's duel it out. I get it. It's on the road. Everybody's saying, well, if it was at home, would they have done that? I just and then I'm on the other side of the fence. Not to ramble, but on the other side of the fence, I'm thinking, you can't possibly think this guy's returning this. Like, you see him back there, he's like, oh, he'll catch it. There's no way he could take it back. No way. But it's just like, the one chance it happens, you're going to look like a complete fool. And that's just, Nick Saban's not getting fired. He's not going anywhere. Special team coach might get fired. I don't know. Somebody's going to pay for that. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And to think that this Auburn team...
Lou Holtz said it the best, though. He was like, he said, when you're on the road and on a Saturday afternoon against your arch rival, you don't even let the unexpected happen. You control the situation.
Right.
He was like, Nick Saban had full control of that situation. He was like, you make everything as low risk as possible. He's like, so you have a chance, not like you play to win the game, but you have a chance where you're definitely not going to lose. You take that chance right there.
Right.
And then he was like, he took a calculated risk, and it just ended up horribly. He was like, the great coaches do it, and then you get second guessed if they don't work. That's what happened.
I mean, there's scenarios where, it's not, I'm not one that, there's proof in the pudding from this show.
And I can't believe I just picked up Lou Holtz.
I was about to say, yeah, but why is there an echo all of a sudden? Anyways, the echo is weird. Okay, anyways, so I was going to say is I'm not someone that usually, I'm one that doesn't like teams to play to lose. But in that scenario, 1 second left, you have the right to play to lose, not to lose. I mean, not play to lose, play not to lose. Yeah. Obviously the Saints play that, and we saw what happened in that game. That's why I normally don't like it. But 1 second left, you're not playing not to lose. You're not going to lose it. So unless you run the ball and you fumble or something. Anyways, I digress. My point is, there's either side of the ball. It's crazy. And to think that Auburn has now 2 weeks in a row, because I actually watched the Georgia play live, and I literally ran out of my room. Like, it was insane, that play. And then it gets that much crazier. Good luck, Missouri. Like, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
And we'll get into all that. But
thank you, Phil, for that, because you made a great point. Because I do think that if that kick goes in, like, you're not even necessarily hailing Saban as a genius. You don't even think twice about it. You're just like, holy shit, that guy made a 57-yarder, and oh my God, that sucks to be Auburn, and all this and that. You don't even question Saban's intelligence, but not only did it not go in, like, legitimately one of the most improbable plays in NFL history happened. But when the stakes are this high,
don't give that to the NFL. All right, don't do that.
But anyways,
you guys didn't have that, okay?
All right, quiet.
You didn't have that
in college football history. But like you said, and I fully agree with it. When the stakes are this high, like, aside from playing your rival on the road, which obviously is a huge factor, when the stakes are this high, like, Saban, man, if you lose this game, like, everything's over. Everything. Like, when the stakes are that high, you absolutely cannot take that risk. That's my opinion. Now, I think Saban just thought, oh, what's the harm if he misses? That was Saban. I guarantee that was Saban's mentality. He thought it was win-win.
You guys want to know something funny, though?
What?
If Ohio State loses, Florida State loses.
Yes, yeah.
He's in the national championship.
It would be Bama in that. But come on. Like, just come on.
Let's go, Duke. Let's go, Duke.
That out there.
I know that. I'm aware. But come on.
But here's the thing I'll say real quick about that, Big Rat, about you saying the whole, he's expecting not to miss there, he's just expecting worst case scenario to miss. But you can't. I don't blame him for going for the field goal there. It's go for it, but you got to be able to make sure that your team is ready for the return.
Yes. No, that is accurate.
That's the point.
It's not only that he scored; he was untouched.
Because if you look, as soon as he kicked it, like as soon as he catched it, you get like they showed the camera angle, and the guys were not even like maybe two guys were moving. Most guys were just standing there. I mean, they were moving a little bit, but I'm talking about like no one was going downfield when in a kick return in general. How many people are already downfield by the time he catches it? Most of the time, it's a lot. So. It just was not. I mean, I know people are saying, my friend made a point. Is it really a coaching deal or is it a player deal? I don't know, but it has to be on the coaches regardless.
Yes, no, definitely. Stakes are high, it's on the coaches. But Yes, I know. Obviously, Markeem, there's a chance that if Ohio State loses, which I guess is possible, and FSU loses, which I guess in some alternate universe is possible, but the odds of both of them losing as well just seems so.
That is incredible. Well, imagine if that shit happens. Could you imagine if that happens?
Dude, if Duke wins the ACC championship, the whole world will explode.
Yeah.
They did it before.
Yeah, well, how long ago though?
In 1983.
Yeah, and guess who was the coach? Guess who was the coach?
Okay, Phil. Yeah.
He's furry.
He's still synonymous with Florida football, so you'll be okay.
I know. 5 in a row. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, anyways, so yeah, I'm just like I said, it was just amazing, and now the big question is really more just like, what now for Auburn? I mean, I think everyone said this, and I fully agree that Alabama was so clearly the more talented team. Like to me, it was so clear. It wasn't just a case of Bama's the better team, but the struggle. No, to me, it was so blatantly clear that Alabama was the better team in this game. Yet they lost. So I just want to ask you, Markeem, how much credit? I mean, this Auburn team, like when you look at teams that play for national championships, they usually have like either the coach or that Heisman candidate or that superstar on their team. I mean, I look at the past few years alone, whether it be Nick Saban, Monte Teo, Cam Newton, the Chip Kelly teams, obviously, Trent Richardson, Mark Ingram, Tim Tebow, Colt McCoy. Like, these are all like, super Sam Bradford. These are all like superstar names. I'm looking at this Auburn team, and there's really no one that truly stands out. I mean, yeah, Nick Marshall's good, I guess, but no one is really a superstar. And Gus Malzahn, this is his first year as a coach. So, like, how does this happen?
College football. That's how it happened. There's no other way to describe it, man. That was a magical moment. I can't really describe it. I have no analysis to give y'all. I'm not gonna pretend like I know everything as the FM trolls or whatever. But I'm telling y'all, I have no explanation for what happened on that play during that game. That game, something was special about that game. Because even my lady, who knows nothing about sports, when that kick went up, she was standing up.
Yeah.
and then he caught it. She was like, "What? Like he can run with it? Is that cool?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's actually fine." I thought he was just gonna get tackled. I was about to lead the run. I'm about to lead the room. He's still up. And she's jumping up and down. This bitch don't know nothing about sports. It was incredible.
One thing I was gonna say, Markeem, you said this before in our argument. I don't know if it made air. Can't remember. But the argument, about quarterbacks winning and things like that, or what a team not quarterbacks, what a team needs in order to win a championship: skill, talent, and a little bit of luck. Well, that proved it right there.
If Auburn wins the SEC, there you go.
There you go.
Who gets the but who does get the most credit for this, Markeem? Is it just Gus?
I feel like you have to because it's practically the same team from last year. The same team Chizik had. Same team.
Even not with Nick Marshall at quarterback though.
Well, yeah, but the rest of the team is practically the same though.
Yeah.
I would also like to say that I believed in this team before they got these upsets.
All right. Going back to the Texas A&M pick.
Texas A&M pick, yes, yep.
But yeah, anyways, yeah, the game was huge. SEC title game this week. We'll talk more about that.
Gus Malzahn has got to be the front runner for Coach of the Year. If not him, the other game we're about to talk about soon. So
this is true. The next game we'll talk about was another big game. Obviously, the rivalry was huge, but no one thought the game would be that good because of how bad Michigan's looked lately. But Ohio State beat Michigan 42-41.
I fucking hate Michigan. I
hate Ohio State.
Because if they would have took care of business and they would have been undefeated, this game would have been the biggest game in the history of fucking college football. But no, not them. They can't do that. They can't do that. They just couldn't do that. They couldn't let a good thing happen. They had to just be the mediocre team that they've been the past 5 years. It's annoying.
How the hell
They
is this?
get on my damn nerves.
How does
They get on my nerves.
How does this team lose to Iowa, Nebraska, Penn State? I mean, come on.
Like Nebraska got a dude coaching that is like in his last 2 weeks coming to work, so he don't give a fuck what he say. You ever know that guy is he's about to leave his job, so he's just acting stupid. That's fucking what's his name right now? That's Bo Pelini. Yeah, that's Bo Pelini right now. He don't care what he do. They lost to a team where the coach literally doesn't care what happens on the field. If his star player got hurt, he would just, move on, go to Joe's Crab Shack and laugh, joke about it.
This needs to be said. Phil, did you hear what he said in the press conference after the Iowa game?
Who did?
Bo Pelini. Did you hear what he said in the press conference after the game?
I don't think so.
If Nebraska wants to fire me, they should go ahead and do it.
Wow.
You don't give a shit. Tommy Frazier flat out said, "We deserve better than this." The greatest player in the history of your team says we deserve better than this. This man, and he practically has no defense. Like his response was he might be on to something. That's what he said. That came out his mouth. He might be on to something. He's talking about you, and you say he might be on to something. Even I'll give Lane Kiffin that. He was a pussy about it, but he didn't say no shit like that.
Yeah, Michigan finishes the season 7-5. When I remember Markeem was giving them a lot of praise before the season, but that's how it is, man.
I have something to say about that game, though.
What?
Go ahead.
All right.
You go before I go.
All right. Okay. So
I hate Michigan.
And I hate Ohio State. If you don't know, I kind of root for Michigan secretly.
I wonder why.
Because of a certain, greatest quarterback ever. But that debate will be pushed to the side for now. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So I rooted for Michigan for a little bit. I kind of got frustrated with the Gamecocks. That's why I kind of had to pick a team, and Brady's awesome, so that's what I did. I picked Michigan, but that's beside the point. This game. We were tailgating. I watched the game a little bit while we were tailgating out at the greatest God's country, which is Columbia, South Carolina. But
no, it's not. This place sucks. But good. I live here.
I know
it's terrible.
He's from Columbia, so yeah, he can tell you. But
this place sucks.
This place sucks. But oh man, now I cough. I want to just basically talk about the final play. A lot of people are like, I actually made a joke. Like, we're watching the game, and they're like, okay, Michigan just scored. They tied it. It's like, I looked at my friend. I was like, they should totally go for it here. And I was joking, half like, maybe they should. And then I saw they were going for it, and I'm like, man.
I was playing.
I was just kidding. I was just kidding. I want you guys to at least have a shot in overtime. You don't get this, it's over. And it's like this is one play. Like, you're putting the whole thing on one play versus overtime with multiple plays. And of course the two or three spots down, someone else is watching the game, and I'd already found out that their TV was ahead of ours. So I'm trying to watch ours and not listen to their reaction. But anyways, so they do it. They go for it. And my thought process is, okay, look. And as someone that hates the bowl system for the most part. I'm like, Michigan's just playing for some stupid bowl. They're some Gaylord City Bowl. They don't care. They're gonna go out there. I mean, obviously they would get better than that if they won. But they go out. They don't care. They're gonna they're going for it, balls to the wall. But this is at home. This is in your environment. The crowd is going nuts for you. You got to play for overtime. You got to play for overtime. I understand the whole you play to win the game. I understand that. But I could not believe they went for it. Obviously, it's one of those scenarios where they get it, they're freaking geniuses. If they don't get it, they look like complete idiots, which is what happened. But I wish I wanted them to test Ohio State, because Ohio State really needed that test, and they basically gave them that. Michigan kicks the extra point. What happens in overtime, we of course will never know. But I really wanted Michigan to win because I don't want to see Ohio State in the championship. But bottom line is Michigan, you gotta kick the extra point, man. I want to slap you fools. But anyways, they lost. They deserve to lose. They're 7-5. So,
Markeem, any more thoughts on the game?
I thought from start to finish, this game was better than Auburn and Bama. I thought that Auburn and Bama obviously had the better ending, but I thought from beginning to end, this was a better football game. Like, this game was highly entertaining. Had me on the edge of my seat. And that last play practically sums up Michigan season. They tried to do something that they are incapable of doing, and it didn't work. I was like, that's their season. Oh my God, what poetic justice. And Ohio State getting extremely lucky. Yeah, pretty much both of these teams' seasons. Yeah. I was saying
Michigan finishes the season 5th in the Legends side of the Big Ten Conference.
And anybody that said they predicted that is a damn lie. It's that simple.
They finished.
I don't want to hear anyone say that they thought that was going to happen. They're lying.
They finished second to last. Not a good look. Not a good look. Still ahead of Northwestern, who went on a 7-game losing streak.
Ooh.
Ohio State killed their season.
Yeah, I was reading an article earlier this year on how Pat Fitzgerald was going to be looked at by many NFL teams for head coaching jobs. Don't think so anymore.
Because of what he did last year.
Yeah.
And then all those guys came back. And people were like, oh, man, they're gonna run roughshod over everyone. And Ohio State is their only real test. They get past that, they'll be fine. Yeah.
They were close against Ohio State, too.
The last 4 minutes of that game killed their season. Not even the same team anymore.
Yeah, I know the feeling, unfortunately, as I watch the ACC championship game on my laptop, not fully being invested in it as I should, but it is what it is. But yeah, that game was also great, and yeah, good for Ohio State. What can you say? Next, we move on to
and hold on. Motherfuckers that say Urban Meyer's the coach of the year, please shut up. Like they're supposed to be undefeated right now. Like they're the best team in the Big Ten. Okay. Here's a little bit of a rant. SEC bias is the worst thing about the national media in college football. The second worst, or the third worst thing, the second would be Notre Dame bias, but the third worst thing is Ohio State bias. Like, motherfuckers are really saying, like, if Alabama would have won out and Florida State would have won out, somebody, like a lot of motherfuckers have said this, and somebody legit was mad at me, telling me that if Ohio State runs the table, they should win a share of the national championship. Says who? Says who on what planet? Really? Really, nigga? That's what you really believe? Seriously? This is not the 2003 Auburn Tigers, where they went through the toughest conference in the country. Or was it 2004? 2003 or one of those two. Where they went through I think it was 04. It was 04. They went through the toughest conference in the country. And then they couldn't play for the national championship because they started the season out unranked. And the human element came in, and the top two teams, which were USC and Oklahoma, stayed there all year. So they just didn't get a chance to play for a national championship. Oklahoma got blew out in the title game. Auburn blew out whoever they played in the bowl game. I can't remember. So the AP voted them number one, and that's why they got to share the national championship. Are you really going to sit here and tell me Ohio State, with who they played, the talent they played, the way they've won, really deserve a share of the national championship? If three teams would have been undefeated and they would have been left out, you really going to make that argument? You really going to try and make that argument? If so, I give up all hope for humanity. If that was going to come up, this is a sport I no longer want to follow. That's why I'm kind of glad Alabama lost. Because motherfuckers would have really been complaining about that. They went 2 straight years undefeated. They deserve a share of the national. They played the best team they will play all year is this weekend. The last weekend of the season. Please shut the fuck up. Please shut up. And Stephen A. Smith, please stop. Something is wrong with y'all. Go ahead.
I think winning the national title by not playing in the game is like the worst thing in the world.
Exactly. Exactly.
Does the team even really brag about it, like on their championship banners and such? I mean,
well, Auburn did, and rightfully so, because was that Auburn? That wasn't Auburn.
No, it wasn't Auburn.
That was USC. My bad.
Yeah.
That was USC.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
I got it fucked up. My bad. Yeah.
It was LSU. It was LSU and Oklahoma.
LSU won the BCS title, and my bad. My memory's fucked, y'all. Yeah. See, I corrected myself. I don't know everything, people. But
but to be fair, we should also make this part of the story clear. LSU did not kill Oklahoma in the national title game. That was a very close game, but LSU won. And USC dominated whoever they faced in the bowl, and then USC got a share of the national title.
I think it was Michigan, but I believe it was Michigan.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that game. Yeah, it was Michigan.
I could be wrong, but yeah, and the AP voted him number 1. So yeah, and the situation I said with Auburn is practically what happened with USC. So there you go. And then the next year, the Auburn thing happened, and that's when people were like, okay, the BCS has got to go because Auburn went undefeated, and they didn't even get to play for the national championship, and and rightfully so. Like that, they played the toughest conference in the nation, went undefeated. They had every right to be mad. Is what it is. But
all right.
What was I saying? Like I'm a like-minded person. I'm not an idiot. Like this is the thing people don't seem to get about me. Okay, this is another little mini rant. People think they actually like the BCS. No, I do not like the BCS. Actually, the BCS has pissed me off many a time. And like, if y'all would have known me like back in like 06, y'all would have really been like, wow, does he really like this sport? I'm serious. Like I hate that system. The thing that I like about college football is the fact that every week you have to get it done. If this was the NFL, Bama would still be the favorite to win everything. Mm-hmm. Isn't it nice the fact they did not get it done? That there are 2 teams that are undefeated, that Bama doesn't even get a chance to fuck with them because they took care of business every single week, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. It's not like the NFL where you rest starters. You know what I mean? And you can lose a few games because you already wrapped up your number 1 seed. It's not like that.
We're gonna have this debate. We're gonna have this debate again.
I mean, no, it's not a debate. I'm just saying, like, this is why I actually like the sport. I mean, it's not.
And I actually agree with what you're saying. My only fault is that 1 game. Geez, like that's a lot. That's huge.
Take care of fucking business. That's what I would tell you.
We're not gonna have this debate because we have a ton of other topics to talk about. I'm stepping in as the host, but this should be said. With this new system, though, this means that, like, let's be honest, Markeem, the game that everyone wants to see is Bama FSU. Because those are very clearly the 2 most talented teams in college football, but
what is that really the game everyone wants?
Well, you know what I mean.
Everyone seems very excited now that Bama lost.
Okay,
people want to see what happens.
You know what I mean. The 2 most talented teams in college football are Bama and FSU, unquestionably. And like I've told you before in this debate, and you've credited me for being the only person ever to provide a successful defense of it, when it comes to a sport and not entertainment. When it comes to a sport,
nigga, we know your stance. I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying that's my stance. That's all.
I get you.
I know how you feel.
I'm just saying.
But like, I'm just saying, like, motherfuckers act, how can you defend the BCS? When have I ever came on this show and defended the BCS? When has that ever happened?
Nah, I agree, and that's why I think this is a fruitless thing. We can move on to more stuff. Also on the Super Saturday, we'll talk about these 2 SEC games. Missouri beats Texas A&M 28-21. Texas A&M falls to 8-4 on the season, which has to be a huge disappointment. I mean, losing to Bama and Auburn, I mean, I guess no shame in that, even though both were at home. But closing out the season, losing to LSU and Missouri, not a good look. Not a good look for Texas A&M. Missouri goes 11-1. They win the SEC East, amazingly. And South Carolina beats Clemson 31-17. But Monty Jones said it best. When Clemson looks bad, they look really bad. There's no middle ground with them. Either they look like a good college football team or they look like a terrible college football team. And I've seen some people use this game to discredit Florida State's win. Not discredit it, but just like showing how, hey, look, it's not that impressive. Clemson doesn't show up in big games. I mean, dropping 52 points on the road is always going to be super impressive. But yeah, these 2 games, Markeem, first reactions to both of these.
All right. The Missouri game, like, it shouldn't take me too long to talk about. I just want to say, Gary Pinkel's another guy that I feel like this game on Saturday is not only a matchup for the SEC title, but it's for Coach of the Year. Like, whoever wins this game will win Coach of the Year. But who expected that? Who expected Missouri to win the Eastern Conference? The SEC East. Who expected?
No one.
Who expected Auburn? I know motherfuckers that did say Auburn would finish second. I know a lot of people that said that. But I laughed at it but no one actually picked them to win the West.
You know, Missouri and Auburn were combined 2-11 in the SEC.
Yeah, I know.
Last year.
Right, last year.
Markeem, we should, before we continue, I'm going to find a time when I can to go back to our college football preview video at the start of the season when we talked about the SEC, because I believe how the conversation went was obviously...
I didn't even know. I pretty much wrote off Missouri. He was like, "What about Missouri?" I was like, "Whatever."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, well, Auburn has a new coach." And he was like, "Gus Miles on." I was like, "Who is that?" The name sounded familiar. I was like, "But who the fuck is that?" And I looked up. I was like, "Oh, he was the offensive coordinator for the." Okay, whatever. Like I looked it up after the show, and I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever."
Yeah.
Like I was like, "Okay, that's nice, whatever." Like I didn't expect them niggas to actually do anything.
So,
but yeah, like this whole situation is incredible because Johnny Football played bad people. I don't want to. I like Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless the next Monday on fucking First Take was like, well, you can tell he's clearly hurt again, and he was getting no help from his receivers, and the defense is always bad. He only gave up 28 points this game. Johnny Football should be able to score more than 21 points. Don't get me wrong, Missouri has an elite defense, but he's Johnny Football. This is the same guy to put up 30-some-odd points on Bama. I'm just saying.
40.
Well, 40. Yeah, 40. My bad. I'm just saying. He did not play well. I'm tired of the excuse. Like, Johnny Football is becoming from like football enthusiasts, not like motherfuckers like that actually follow the sport. I'm talking about motherfuckers that are like, whatever. But because he's the most popular player in college football, he's kind of becoming the Tom Brady of college football. Let me explain to you what I mean, Phil, before you jump in and act crazy.
No, I agree. I actually agree.
Whenever he fucks up, it's always someone else's fault.
Right.
Like he has not won one big game all season. And motherfuckers are still saying he should be in New York. I said that last week. I said I don't give a fuck what he does against Missouri. The only way I put him in New York is if he kills Missouri. And I knew he wasn't gonna do that. Like I don't care if they barely beat them. The only way I put him in New York is if they killed Missouri. I knew it wasn't gonna happen. Like the reason why I say Jordan Lynch, and I mean, and I think Jordan Lynch should be in New York, and who's another guy,
Andre Williams.
even Bryce Petty, I feel like those guys they deserve to be in New York over this dude because Northern Illinois, albeit they hadn't played many big national games, but they played a lot of tough, conference games on the road. You know what I mean, where they had to actually get it done. Like, let's call it what it is. This season, Johnny Football has the games he won. He's lit up bad teams. Let's just be real. Let's be real. Arkansas, he went completely ape shit. Bad team. Bama, he did well, but people, want to just forget all about those two horrible interceptions he threw. But he did well, but they lost the game. Do you know what I'm saying? Jordan Lynch has been great. Now, don't get me wrong. Am I saying Johnny Football is better? I mean, am I saying Jordan Lynch is better than Johnny Football? Obviously not. That would be crazy talk. What I'm saying is that he has not laid a goose egg all year like Johnny Football has. Twice. And motherfuckers just want to know it. Like, it's getting on my nerves. Even like the games he's played bad and they won, people are like, well, that's just because Johnny Football delivers in the clutch. I'm like, dude, like, are we doing this right now? It's like it's almost becoming Tom Brady. When they win, this nigga gets way too much credit. Like they just forget that Mike Evans is averaging 20 yards a catch. This nigga got 1,300 yards and like I think like 16 touchdowns. We just going a motherfucker's not put up numbers like that since Larry Fitzgerald at the college level. But we just gonna forget all about that. We ain't gonna talk about him. We just gonna talk all about Johnny Football. That's getting on my nerves. It's getting on my nerves rather quickly. And I like this guy. Y'all know how much I like this guy. It's just annoying. It is annoying. Let's be honest, people. He did not play well on Saturday. It was not anyone else's fault. It was his. He played awful. He was bad. He was bad on Saturday.
He had a QBR of 47.1. I just looked at that.
Bad. Brutal. Say it again, Phil.
Brutal.
Well, I don't give two shits.
Kid. You're one of those people, kid.
No, listen. I don't give two shits what Mr. Know-It-All says. All right now? In all honesty, I do think Johnny Football should be in New York, not because of what you said, more because of the lack of contenders for the Heisman in general. And I think
I agree with that.
And I think because his numbers are amazing this year still, even though he hasn't performed in clutch performances, he still has a higher completion percentage than last year, more yards than last year, and all these other things.
Like if he wins the Maxwell outright, I'd be totally fine. But if he's in New York before someone like Jordan Lynch, I'm be a little upset. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The final three contenders for the Maxwell are Johnny Football, Jameis, and AJ, right?
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know any. I hadn't looked at any of the nominees this year for anything.
When do they announce that stuff?
I think it was like last week.
When do they announce the Heisman contenders?
Usually a week before, the week of, usually.
So that would be coming up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the Heisman's coming up pretty soon.
Okay, well, for those who don't know, the Maxwell Award
is it's kind of like the Offensive Player of the Year almost for college football, almost kind of like that. It's like the most the Heisman is supposed to be the most outstanding player, but in Maxwell, it's almost like the player that performed the best all year.
Maxwell is like the Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, but like
kind of, not exactly.
It's hard to explain. It's like the player that performed the best all year, if that makes any sense. While the Heisman Trophy is more of the player that transcended the game the most. You know what I'm saying?
Game situation and clutch situation don't really matter that much in Maxwell.
Yeah, there you go. If your numbers are ridiculous, you're probably winning the award.
All right, so yeah, the final three contenders are...
If your numbers are ridiculous against good competition, you're probably winning the award.
Jameis Winston, Johnny Manziel, and AJ McCarron are the three finalists. So I guess we'll...
AJ's out. So
AJ's out, yeah. So that just leaves these two. And we'll see if Jameis gets out. I heard there's going to be a decision this week. But anyways, yeah, that's college football for the most part. Oh, wait.
Wait.
I forgot a game. I know. Oh, and Marquise didn't talk about South Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, Dabo Swinney is one of the most overrated coaches on the planet. He does not know how to go with what works. He always tries to do something stupid, try to change shit up, and bad stuff happens. Like, if it's working, keep doing what works. If they don't give you something, just take it. All game, South Carolina was giving up those little 5-yard routes, those little 10-yard routes. And what does motherfucker do? Throw a 60-yard interception down the field.
No, there's a trick play on the drive, their very first drive.
I forgot about the end around. Yeah, you are correct. The end around. And my bad. It was a wide receiver pass.
Sammy Watkins passed.
Sammy Watkins
completely threw it awful.
Like, come on,
and this is your first drive. This is a drive that you can at least go up 3-0, you're looking like you're going to go up 7-0, and then you just throw that pick, and that's the end of it.
Like, just go with what works, dude. Like, he's a phenomenal recruiter. I think he is taking Clemson from the depths of hell to actual relevancy. You know what I mean? A lot of people thought that wasn't going to be done for a long time. And he did it. You know what I mean? He deserves all the credit in the world. He deserves to be, their guy. I just think in terms of being an in-game coach, he is slightly worse than Mark Richt. And y'all know how I feel about Mark Richt.
Wow.
I mean, it just is what it is. Like, I'm almost at the point where unless they are completely so far ahead in terms of talent than South Carolina, as long as Spurrier is there, he ain't beating them niggas. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It won't happen unless they are unless there is a clear gap. You know what I mean? That's the only way.
And here's the thing. I'll comment. Obviously, I was there live. It was a great experience. First ever Clemson Carolina game that I was there. The thing is, like I said, I'll point to that that play, that trick play. I don't understand. Clemson fans have said, well, it was a great call. Well, yeah, it's a great call if it works out. But, I mean, why do you need to do that then? Late in the game, okay, I see maybe trying that. But the first drive, you can, even if Sammy doesn't try to go balls to the wall with it, just passes it, he can get a completed pass to the 5-yard line. So it's like, why do that there? And then it's like, you can't hold on to the ball because, you get 2 stops on us late in the game, 2 punts, and you fumble both of them. One you shouldn't have ever even returned, but that's neither here or there.
And one thing I have to say, please shut the fuck up about Jadeveon Clowney, because my God, that might have been the best game he ever played as a college player.
That dude lit Taj Boyd up.
Yo, I feel like, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like this season he just hadn't been motivated. That's just being real. I feel like all this, like, and that's not cool to do that.
No,
but that's just being honest.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think the thing
when
is,
he gives a fuck because he hates Clemson, that much is obvious. Right. When he gives a fuck, that dude is phenomenal.
Right, yeah. and he proved that in that game. And I think also a guy that stepped up huge that I think is going to help his draft stock, and that's Kelsey Quarles. That dude had a huge game.
Yeah, he was balling.
I mean, of course, we'll see what he does in the bowl game. But my thing is,
Connor Shaw, I think might actually get drafted.
I could see, late round pick or something, or worst case scenario, practice squad or something. But
like a lot of people don't know, man, he's been incredibly efficient this year.
One interception all season. One. So yeah, I mean, he's played great,
and that boy can run. My God, he got some.
And he can't. And apparently, Clemson decided not to play and contain at all. So that was weird. But anyways, well, at certain points in the game, anyways, like crucial points. But anyways, game. I could not believe Clemson just shot themselves in the foot. The game would have been close. I think Gamecocks still win it. Maybe that's just my bias saying that, but they just they farted it away. Clemson basically. I mean, that's just the best way to say it. I mean, they just
If this game was close. In Williams-Brice, I'm going with Carolina because Taj Boyd would have fucked that up. He would have found a way to mess that up.
And that's the thing. I don't want to. I was talking to Clemson fans and Carolina fans. I don't know if Taj Boyd chokes in big games, but he just is not the same in big games. Florida State.
No, you are correct.
Chokes is the right word. Okay, yeah, so he chokes in big games, and
how can you be so incredibly talented anytime you're playing a team that does not matter?
And Dabo. And Dabo, the case of should he get fired? Should he not get fired? That's something we can talk about later. But
no.
But there is.
Dude.
But I do think there's a case, Markeem. And here's what the case is against Markeem. I mean against Dabo, and I'll say that real quick. They're saying that I've heard that the ACC was somewhat I don't know if I want to say easiest, but I mean you had Miami and you had Florida State. But outside of that, would you say it was fairly easy this year going into the season?
Well, going into the season, yeah.
Clemson.
Yeah. Well, not easy. No,
not easy. But Clemson has to win 2 games, and they could be in the national championship. Florida State, they're going to win the ACC championship game too. But they beat Florida State, they beat Carolina, they're in the ACC championship guaranteed. That's their big games. Everybody else they blew out. So it's like that was the thing. Like then you look at Dabo losing his 5th straight Carolina game. It's just, I mean, there's
that might get him fired. Like you can't keep losing to your arch rival over and over again.
Not 5 times in a row, but we'll see. I think Dabo is going to be given one more year. If he loses a 6th time, guaranteed he's fired. I almost guarantee that. You can't keep a guy that's.
I can't imagine if they go undefeated though in the conference and then he loses
to South Carolina.
Like,
see, exactly right. So, but anyways,
oh man.
One thing I did want to ask Markeem. This kind of relates to the game. About Carolina and what do you think Carolina's bowl? Maybe we can talk about that later. I don't know what the plans are as far as that, but
we're doing a bowl preview.
Oh, okay, we'll wait for that then. We'll wait.
I'm asking.
All right, come on. To this day, our most viewed video ever is the college football bowl season preview.
I'm still shocked by that. But Phil, to answer your question really quickly, Bama just fucked up y'all chances of getting a BCS game. unless this is the only way. Well, no, never mind. It won't happen. Because, it won't happen. Because it won't happen. But, because they're the at-large team. I can guarantee you that. So. Rightfully so, they should be.
Here's my question. So, Alabama, of course, will be there, of course. Then, let's just say Auburn wins. So, we would obviously we'd be next in line as far as SC Bowls, right?
Yeah,
because we beat Missouri, and then Missouri just lost again.
Yeah, that means y'all would end up in the Capital One.
Capital One, which is fine with me. Okay.
You could possibly play us.
No. But I am hearing a rumor.
It seems why we need Michael Hansker right now because it's like he knows those seedings like without even looking at them. I don't know how he just pulls those seedings up like that without even looking at it.
Yeah, he does.
We need him right now.
They're saying right now Sugar Bowl it could be Clemson, Alabama. Oh my gosh, that game. Oh my gosh. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, because if FSU wins, which everyone's expecting, Clemson would go to the Orange Bowl. Not the Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl. But anyways, Clemson would get a significant BCS bid if FSU goes because the ACC gets an automatic entry.
And they're saying rumor Orange Bowl against Bama is what I'm right now.
Good Lord. But anyways, we're gonna move on. Very quickly, it wasn't a big game, but we should talk about it. We really feel bad for a good friend of this podcast, Matt Beast, big Arkansas fan, and all year, Markeem has been saying that Arkansas is going to upset someone this year. All year, he's been saying it all year. They're going to get their upset. Don't worry. And they were at home. Actually, no, they weren't at home. They were on the road.
No, they were on the road.
They were on the road against LSU, a top 15
in Death Valley.
And they were playing great the whole game. They had to lead the whole game, and then with 1 minute left, the backup LSU quarterback throws like a 60-yard Hail Mary to win the game. And LSU wins, and Arkansas remains 0-7 in the SEC, 3-9 on the season.
0-8.
0-8, 3-9 on the season. Eesh, what happened here?
It's like you said, man. College football strikes again. I just like as soon as that happened, I thought about him. I was like, oh man. Like the whole situation, it made like I ain't gonna lie, I felt bad. Like almost like I was cheering for Arkansas. It was just horrible. Like because they showed the sideline. Even Bielema looked upset, man. It was just sad. It was. I still think that dude is an amazing coach. I just think that team is not as good as I thought they were.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Bielema's job security for now. I know it's only 1 year.
He's fine for this season. But they got to be better next year, and then it might be some trouble.
Here's a quick question, Markeem, because I just saw this. I wanted to ask.
You can't like discredit everything he did at Wisconsin. That dude is a great coach, man, for real. But go ahead, Phil.
I was just going to say, what has happened to Oregon? I know they pulled off the win against Oregon State, but it just seems like Oregon just dropped off like after they lost. Like
that game was also amazing, and I'm gonna pop my collar a little bit because I told everyone and no one else in on the air. I watched on Saturday to make sure everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Oregon over Arizona big." I was like, "No, pay attention to this game." Y'all missed me pound the table just now. No, I was like, pay attention to this game. They are at home. Oregon struggles against physical running attacks, and there's no more physical runner than Kadeem Carey in all of college football. And I was like, this shit will be close. I did not know they were going to get killed. Kadeem Carey had 40-some-odd carries that game. And I knew they were going to give him the ball. I just had no idea he'd get it that much. They dominated time possession. They completely dominated Oregon. And I didn't pick them to win anything, but I feel proud. I feel like the only guy they'd even say they had a chance to win. And I feel like I deserve a little bit of credit. Just the smallest sliver of credit for that. But to answer your question, Phil, the Arizona game, I didn't think it'd go down like that. That was just that they just never had the ball. They didn't get a chance to do much. But Oregon State didn't surprise me because those games are usually close. It's just the past couple of years they haven't been. I think that I honestly just think that Oregon doesn't have a Kenyon Barner, where he would be the guy, the reliable every down back you can give it to get the first downs and things like that. You know, DeAnthony Thomas is he's a good NFL prospect, but he's not good between the tackles. And you need a guy that can do that. And they hadn't had that guy all year. So when Stafford was getting physical with them, they had no answer for it because they couldn't, they couldn't run the ball. And I think the same thing similar was happening with Oregon State to where they had to become one-dimensional. And Mariota balled out, but they had to do that. They had no choice. So.
Okay, I got you.
And Sean Mannion, you call him out, for a shootout, he gonna answer the bell. Like he dropped 30 on anybody. That dude's been balling all year. So that didn't surprise me at all.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just doing some quick annotations in my head.
Look at this nigga.
4-3, 5-3, 6-3, 6-4.
What's wrong?
6-4, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4, 7-4, 7-5, 8-5, 8-6, 8-7.
What are you doing?
I'm doing our records from 2 weeks ago that hadn't been told to the public yet. I went 8-7, but I did get my second hero pick of the season when I predicted the San Diego Chargers to beat the Chiefs on the road. I currently have 2 on the year as opposed to 1 to these other 2 bozos in the call. And I would also like to say that Phil has it on his record. Alabama is not losing this year.
I did.
I said that too before we lost the record.
Oh, it's on your. I'm putting on your record too. Alabama is not losing this year. Well,
that's before I knew. That's before I knew Auburn could win in any possible way.
And I still have on my record FSU will lose this year. I'm sticking to that.
You still think that's gonna happen?
I'm sticking to it out of loyalty to my prediction. I'm not gonna back out.
Duke.
Not to Duke.
Yo, man, if that shit happens, that is in my opinion, this is my opinion, the biggest upset in a long time. Because literally no one is giving them a chance to win.
They're laughing on ESPN when they bring up the game. Like, they'll laugh about Duke.
Like not one person I think actually believes they'll win this game. And me included. Them niggas ain't about to win, but let's go.
5-7, 5-8, 7-8, 6-8, 7-8. I finished 8-7. Phil fished 7-8. And Big Markeem over here. I think college football you were perfect. You were 1-0, 1-1.
This was 2 weeks ago.
1-2.
I don't think I was perfect.
2-2. Actually, not at all. Yeah, my bad. 2-3, 3-3, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4, 6-4, 7-4, 8-4, 8-5, 8-6, 8-7. You finished 8-7, just like me. You had too much confidence in Wake Forest beating Duke, Texas A&M beating LSU, and UCLA beating Arizona State.
But Phil, what did I tell you? I told you Duke is a hard team to play. Didn't I tell you that? They're just going to get dominated. Probably should have won that game.
You mean Wake Forest, not Duke?
Wake Forest, yeah. I told you, Phil. Like, they're not just some bums off the corner, man. Just because their record looks a certain way, they're not just some bums on the corner.
It's still Duke.
And Phil got the pick right. But anyways, let's move on. That weekend was great, and we'll have a lot to talk about when we talk about the weekend this weekend. But now, very quickly, we got to talk about the draft class 2014. A lot happened today. Marcus Mariota officially said he's coming back to Oregon. He's not going in the draft. He was a top 2 draft prospect. And Brett Hundley, he hasn't officially declared that he's coming back, but he said that if his head coach, Jim Mora, came back, he would come back. And Jim Mora signed a new 6-year contract this year. So Brett Hundley's most likely coming back as well. Those were 2 of the top 3 prospects in the whole draft. And now the 2014 draft class that everyone was saying looked so amazing. Now it's just kind of like a normal draft class. Now you kind of got Teddy Bridgewater, and I guess the other top candidates now are going to be, in any order, Derek Carr, A.J. McCarron, Taj Boyd, Stephen Morris, Johnny Football. But it's not the powerhouse that it was going to be, because these 2 guys, Marcus Mariota and Brett Hundley, are considered surefire NFL starting quarterbacks. So, Markeem, first off, I'll go to you. Was this a good move by Mariota and Hundley?
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, my computer's acting crazy. But to answer you guys' question, Hundley, yes, because I think he needed another year. Mariota, what does this accomplish? Like, what does this change? What does this change? Like, dog. Like, okay, instead of being, like, I still don't think, he's going to be I don't think I just don't believe he's a number 1 overall pick. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't think he was going to be anyway. Like, either way, I think he probably would have went about where he goes next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless he just automatically becomes a different quarterback, then, I just don't know. I don't know.
I mean, you can understand his mentality behind it. AJ
yeah, I mean, loyalty to his teammates and all that. I get that, but
and a good shot to win the Heisman in the national championship. But yes, I agree. I mean, you just never know. Like we've seen the Matt Leinarts and Matt Leinart had won a Heisman.
Matt Leinart. It's Leinart.
Matt Leinart won a national championship and a Heisman and almost a surefire number 1 overall pick. And he comes back to what at the time was looking to be one of the greatest college football teams of all time. And this dude got drafted 10th overall. Things change.
That is true. I give you that.
Like, it is what it is. And now next year he has no DeAnthony Thomas. I don't know how big of a loss you consider that to be. But
I don't consider that big of a loss at all.
Okay, then.
Like, yo, he's Reggie Bush without being able to catch like Reggie Bush. Who gives a fuck?
You don't care.
I think the dude is. I think he's a knucklehead and completely overrated. To be honest with you.
You said who gives a fuck about Reggie Bush, one of the top 5 greatest college running backs of all time?
I was talking about DeAnthony Thompson. Like, who gives a fuck about him?
Fair enough. But you did just
Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush one of the baddest dudes to ever play college football. Like, come on.
All right, so yeah, it'll be interesting. What do you think of the draft class now, and who do you think gets drafted higher? I mean, I know you can't predict like E.J. Manuel going 15th overall.
You mean in terms of quarterbacks?
Yeah.
If this was me, Bridgewater would be my top pick, and if this was me now, I'm just speaking solely for me. Manziel would probably be the second best quarterback in this draft. And then AJ McCarron, and then Taj Boyd. That'd be my top 4.
Crazy.
And then after that, okay, Phil, how am I crazy?
Crazy is a strong word. Just continue. Going on.
You put Taj Boyd.
What would your order be?
You put
who?
Taj.
Got it.
What would your order be then, Phil?
Who was your number one? Your number one was Marcus Mariota, right?
Well, I'm saying like right now, since they're.
I mean, obviously, I'll take your word for it as far as Teddy. Teddy's number 1, but number 2 is to me, would be either AJ McCarron or Aaron Murray. Then 3.
Aaron Murray, I don't know, man. The injury.
I understand that, right. Which is probably what would elevate Johnny Manziel there. But I just
because like even before the draft, like his in terms of like his scouting report, it wasn't like really that NFL friendly anyway. Like, you know what I mean?
Now, don't get me wrong, Markeem. That's my rankings. That's who I would, like, my board. Like, I know Johnny Manziel's going in the first round. Like, I almost know it.
Well, first off, 2 things need to be said. One, it's almost a surefire lock that not only is Johnny Manziel leaving, but that he'd be drafted pretty high.
And he's stupid for leaving, too, but whatever.
Not anymore.
I don't know about now. He would have been if Mariota and Hundley were.
I still think he's stupid for leaving.
Yeah, but next year...
You can come back and have a better year. Like,
yeah, but he has no guarantee to win the Heisman now next year, like he did when Mariota was going to be gone.
You never have a guarantee to win
a national championship.
Yeah, but Phil, next year's draft class is going to be better than this one.
No, it's not, is it?
Yes, because Jameis Winston's going to be eligible.
Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Brett Hundley.
Winston will be a sophomore.
What? Redshirt.
Oh no, because he got redshirted. That's right. Whatever.
And Bryce Petty would be there next year too.
Yeah.
Like this is probably going to be this is probably going to be Johnny Manziel's highest draft stock possible.
Yeah, and that's probably true. I don't know.
I mean, I understand it still, and I still wouldn't be.
It also should be pointed out that Phil doesn't like Johnny Manziel.
It's not that I don't like him; he's just a dick.
Okay, Mr. Media. But also, it should be said, I think Markeem.
No, the media loves him. I'm the one that thinks he's a dick.
I think Markeem has a fantastic opinion on college football, but I think he's an absolute bona fide idiot for putting Taj Boyd ahead of Stephen Morris in the draft stock. I refuse to accept this.
Okay, stop. I just completely forgot about him. Okay, Stephen Morris, then Taj Boyd.
Thank you. Because
I forgot about him.
If nothing else, all Taj Boyd has proven is that he absolutely cannot perform in the big stage.
Bottom line,
there is no bigger stage than NFL.
bottom line, I wouldn't want either one of those. But
Stephen Morris, you clearly didn't see Stephen Morris last year.
I don't care what happened last year. This year, he didn't impress me at all.
This year, he hasn't looked good, but this year, he also got a new offensive coordinator.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm not saying he should be drafted. Don't calm down a little bit. I'm just saying that I wouldn't want either one.
I like Stephen. My bias aside, my draft board is Teddy Bridgewater, Johnny Manziel, Stephen Morris, then AJ McCarron. But that's just me.
Nigga, that's come on. Come on, really?
It's not.
Mark my words, Aaron Murray.
It's not at all different from yours, except I switched Morris and McCarron. That's it.
I'd say there's more question marks about Morris than there is McCarron at the next level. Even though I don't think either one of them be that great. I think that here's what I think. Here's what I think about Morris. I think that Morris cannot start right away. If someone has whoever drafts him, they need a veteran. I mean, at least like he needs to just practice for 2 years before he actually throws an NFL pass.
And see, I think
it's going to be a disaster.
And that's my kind of.
I think when you analyze McCarron, next to Morris and Bridgewater and all these other guys, you'll start to have question marks about him that you couldn't be able to have by watching him
there's
at Bama.
There's only one question mark I have about McCarron. How would he handle the blitz? Because we have no idea. You know what I mean? But in terms of him being able to make all the throws and scanning the field, he's gotten a lot better at that this year, actually scanning the field and making the right throw. You know what I mean? He's improved a lot of the shit a lot of the questions I had about him. The only question I have is how they gonna handle the blitz. I have no idea. Zero.
All I know is when Stephen Morris was on,
and that's a huge question mark. He could be Carson Palmer all day, but against the blitz, if he sucks, it is what it is.
All I know is that when he was at the Peyton Manning Passing Academy last year, they said, from a mechanics standpoint, Stephen Morris may be the most talented passer in all of college football. So, yeah.
Stephen Morris also has the most question marks of a lot of them niggas in the draft, though. That's why I just can't put him in the top 3. I can't do it.
Okay, when he wins Rookie of the Year next year, then you'll be all upset.
Stop. Nigga, you don't even believe that's going to happen.
I do think if the Jaguars draft him, he'll have success, though, because he would be going back to Jed Fish, who was his offensive coordinator last year.
And I just, you cannot throw him in there that early, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't. All I said was he would have success. That's all I said. Thanks for listening, dumbass.
They gotta get like some minimum wage old guy, and then have him like play before he even plays.
Next week,
they gotta Aaron Rodgers him on up. That's what they gotta do.
How do you think Aaron Rodgers would have done straight into the NFL?
I think he would have struggled mightily.
Wow. See, I think Aaron Murray is a perfect guy that could just sit on the bench and get ready and when he comes in, he'll be ready. I think, honestly, but it's all about the injury, and we'll see how he can come back from that.
Aaron Murray fixed 3 things that I thought was totally fucked up about his game. I thought that he always looked away from where he was throwing the ball. He fixed that. Another thing he did, he always looked down his receiver. He fixed that more times than not. And he was more careful with the ball and didn't fumble as much. So those were the 3 problems I had with him. And he fixed all 3 of them. So
next we go to playoff predictions for the NFL. I figured we should introduce some NFL talk into this. Playoffs are coming up. Everyone wants to know our thoughts. I currently have
yawn. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna say this right now to you. I know you're just kidding, but I'm tired of this shit. You taking every chance you get to bury the NFL, you don't come off good. So, Mr. Know-It-All.
Kid, you take every chance you can to bury Tom Brady.
Exactly.
What's the difference?
Hush.
I've been putting him over lately on Twitter, if you read my Twitter.
What?
I missed that. I must have missed that.
I said whatchamacallit, after the Panthers game and after the Texans game that he played really well.
Oh, you did say that.
So, yeah.
Look at your Twitter page from the past couple of days, though. You think Tom Brady's a bum looking at his Twitter.
What the? Shh, quiet, you guys. It can't be denied he was having a terrible first half to the season. That can't be argued. All right. I get there was a reason for it. But he can't be argued. Yeah. And it's not just he didn't have his receivers. He generally, the past few years, has started off slow.
See, there it goes. All I made was one comment. There it goes. There he goes.
All right, let's not do this again.
All right, don't worry. When Johnny Manziel wins the Heisman, I'll be the one that's really loud.
Oh, I'm going to throw up.
Yo, I'd be so mad. Jesus, I'd be mad.
All right, let's go to the playoff predictions. So currently right now, in the AFC, the Broncos have the 1st seed, the Patriots have the 2nd seed, the Colts have the 3rd seed, 4th seed Bengals, 5th seed Chiefs, 6th seed Ravens. In the NFC, from 1 to 6, it's Seahawks, Saints, Lions, Cowboys, Panthers, Niners. I must say there's a big discrepancy in the NFC in the wildcard games. The Niners and the Panthers, in my opinion, are so clearly better teams than the Lions and Cowboys, but that's how the system works. Philip, we'll start with you. In the AFC, how do you...
Who said his whole name? Philip.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, I'm not used to hearing that.
You could always...
from you guys, anyways.
You could always throw a Richard my way, which no one in this planet calls me if you really want to start something.
Ricky?
No, not Ricky. Richard.
I do. Bro, I'll say Ricky a couple times. But
all right, so I still prefer Big Rat. But yeah, AFC.
Tell me what my playoffs was, and then I'll go from there. Okay. Do you have that on record, or I can't remember?
Our playoffs...
Probably not.
Unfortunately, I do not. I have our
Okay,
Super Bowl.
I had the Super Bowl. I remember I had I know my AFC Championship and my NFC Championship, so we can go from there.
Okay.
My AFC Championship beginning of the year was Denver, New England. I'm pretty sure. And I had Denver going.
Denver winning.
Yeah, Denver winning over New England. And then NFC Championship, I had I want to say Atlanta over Seattle. I want to say I don't know if it was Seattle.
You had Atlanta though. I remember that.
But Atlanta, yeah, I look like a doofus. Who knew?
Just a quick question. What's with the Falcons' love with you? You
My
picked them to go to the
Falcons
Super Bowl
love?
the last two. Yeah, you picked them to go to the Super Bowl the last 2 years. I'm just curious, like,
Because I'm one of their supporters. Like, you know how you say like they're my Texans, I guess. Like the last few years. Like I don't root for them or anything, but I thought that Matt Ryan and the Falcons had the talent to get it done, where everybody else thought they didn't. They got to the NFC Championship game, almost won last year, so it's like, or not, yeah, they were in the NFC Championship game. So, but anyways, so I'm gonna do I guess I'll do seeds. Does that work?
Yeah.
All right. Number one seed is going to still be Denver on the AFC side. AFC side is the weak side of this year. NFC is going to be amazing playoffs, I think. But which probably means after the.
I think the second round, that first week, I think the two wildcard teams are going to kill the division winners.
That's true. What was I going to say?
That's just me.
Okay. But yeah, I got Denver number one. I think the second seed stays in New England. I just don't think Kansas City. It's going to be hard because I have Kansas City and New England both winning out, which is probably not going to happen.
Kansas City can't get the second seed.
Oh yeah, that's right. They can't. But anyways, New England gets the second seed regardless. But I digress. Third seed, I have going to the Cincinnati Bengals. I can't. It seems like I had them. So anyways, fourth seed, I have the Colts. Marquis. Only by default. The Colts are just not looking too good right now. But
I have a lot to say. I have a lot of unbiased things to say.
I'll let you go off on your Colts. But fifth seed, I have Kansas City. Clearly, they're not going to lose that. And the sixth seed, as of right now, if you want to play this out yourselves, Playoff Machine on ESPN, it's great. There's probably others out there.
I'll link. I'm on it right now. I'll link it.
Okay, yeah, I'm on it right now. I was doing that while we were talking a little bit. But yeah, link will be in the description for that. But I've got sixth seed right now, Miami, finishing 9-7, as the sixth seed. So, and then of course matchups wise, it would be Kansas City versus. I'll go ahead and finish the AFC side. Kansas City would go to Indy and beat them. They would go on to play Denver for the third time. Kansas.
The kid's like, you're crazy. You're crazy, Phil.
Then you have Dolphins at Cincinnati. That's a hard one for me, but Dolphins, this will be the first time they made a playoffs with Tannehill and things like that in a long time, actually, but or a little while outside of the year. I think the last time they made it was the year they won the division by default. Cincinnati, I think Cincinnati wins that. I'll give Cincinnati the win there. Cincinnati moves on to play at New England. New England gets revenge there, goes to the AFC Championship game against Denver. It'll be in Denver, and man, that one's tough for me. It's tough for me, but I'll stick with what I originally said. I'll still say Denver. And the reason I'm still saying Denver is because I think New England is I actually would feel more confident in picking New England than I would in the beginning of the season. But their defense, you got to have some kind of defense in the playoffs. I just don't. And Denver's defense is awful too, but I think it's better than New England's, and I don't know. That's a toss-up game right now for me. It just all depends on how Peyton plays and how the game goes. In Denver, but I got Denver holding on to win that. But
I'm not going to give my opinion. First, I just want to give a few things to what you said about that game. First off, bravo. First and foremost. Second off, I mean, Denver has issues stopping the pass. New England can't stop the run. Denver is actually fantastic against the run. New England's actually pretty decently good against the pass. They did allow Case Keenum to explode, but I mean, they were at least. I don't know what the hell happened. Akeem Talib is still a great player.
He's hurt. You can tell. He's being desperate. So
that one's a tough. That one's basically a toss-up. Me personally, I would just pick Denver just because I don't think New England can beat them twice. But
that's the thing too. And let me go ahead and say, I told you guys we were beating Denver. Just saying, but I know you just gave.
No, you gave great analysis for it, and I gave you credit.
I remember. We didn't get on you too much, man.
I'll do a little quick analysis of that game real quick. People with 24-0 looked at the score and said, "Oh, they're getting." Someone even said it to me. They're like, "They're about to get skunked." And they didn't realize that 17 of those points came out of turnovers. If New England stops turning the ball over, Peyton did not drive once in that. Well, he drove once to make it 24-0. So his 7 points came from one drive, but he couldn't drive. The wind was a factor, and then once second half turnover stopped from New England, and New England started lighting up that defense, and it was a different game. So, and huge call by Belichick in overtime. I was like putting my head down. But it was the right call. It was the call you had to make. Like, I know that, of course, Peyton Manning scores, and then people don't say that, but it was the right call with the win. He knew the win was a factor. I was almost like, is the Brady Manning Bowl about to end in a tie? But anyways, so yeah, I have this. This is a toss-up game for me. I think it's just how these teams are playing going into that game. If it is indeed the AFC Championship game, so we'll see. If New England does somehow get the number one seed, though, I've got New England going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
NFC side, you want to go ahead and do that, or
we'll do AFC for each of us first.
Okay, good.
Markeem, your turn, and you can include your thoughts on the Colts. These are the guys.
All right, Denver is number one. I think they're most likely gonna win out, so they're number one, just by default, because not much anyone can do to catch them. I mean, unless they fuck up at some point, and then
Chargers is the last game that really,
and that one's in Denver.
Yeah.
Then I got New England second, just because another team just by default. And then third, I actually have the Colts. I think that and let me pick this time now to pick them apart. Andrew Luck has not played well, y'all, but I'm gonna be honest, and then I'm gonna be. Y'all gonna call me biased, but this is just being real. He's a second-year quarterback, a very special. So y'all know how I feel about that, but a very special second-year quarterback who lost his main weapon cold turkey in the middle of the season.
That's right.
I'm just saying, like,
it has no one near the level of Reggie Wayne
on that team. You know what I mean? Not even close. Like, T.Y. Hilton is becoming a great player, but he ain't there yet. You know what I mean? And he's not Peyton Manning. Not yet, at least. He's not Tom Brady. Not yet, at least. Not Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers. Not yet. What did you expect from a second-year quarterback? I'm just saying, he doesn't suck all of a sudden. It's just the shit happened cold turkey. I think if we had a whole season without Reggie Wayne, you wouldn't be seeing this shit. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. Whatever. And the defense has not played well. I don't care about the coach. I care about Andrew Luck. All right? but the defense has not played well, though. Like, I'll admit that. It's just, even with all that being said, I somehow trust them more than the Bengals. If that makes any sense. Like, the Bengals, man, like Andy Dalton, he's a weird one, man. Because there are some weeks I'm like, y'all criticize him too much. And there are other weeks where I'm like, oh, he deserves every bit of criticism. I don't know what you're going to get from that dude every week. I just don't. And as great as that defense is, they do give up their fair share of big plays. So, I don't know. I just think Indy will be the 3 seed. And as far as the 2 wild cards, I think the Chiefs are pretty much a given. Give me some names, kid. Give me some names.
Okay, the wild card race currently, the Ravens are 6-6. The Dolphins are also 6-6. Then after that, it's Chargers and Steelers, who are both 5-7. The Steelers and the Dolphins play this week. And yeah, those are really the only main contenders. I don't think any of us really consider the Jets or the Titans. But yeah, Ravens, Dolphins are 6-6. Steelers and Chargers are 5-7. But the Chargers still have to play. They play
Denver,
the Giants, at the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. Still, the Steelers. If we can just
not the Chargers.
The Steelers play the Dolphins this week, then the Bengals, then the Packers, then the Browns, and the Dolphins play the Steelers, Patriots, Bills, and Jets. So there you go. And the Ravens play the Vikings this week, and then they got a tough one. They got on the road to the Lions, at home against the Patriots, and on the road to the Bengals. So
which is why I have the
So
Dolphins.
I'm going to present a scenario to y'all. Could y'all imagine if the Ravens somehow squeak in and all hell breaks loose again?
God, no. That team is so much
They don't
worse.
have that motivation they had last year with Ravens.
No, I'm just saying. Could you imagine that?
I could.
But,
Well, if the Broncos, if the Ravens go beat the Colts again in the first round, then beat the Broncos again in the second round, then beat the Patriots again in the third round,
that would be nuts.
because that's what would happen the way your bracket is set up.
Yeah, but that would be nuts though, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
But
crazy.
that last spot, man. I'm gonna go with the Ravens, just because. Because I don't trust the Dolphins at all. Sorry, kid, I just don't. So I guess I'll just go with the Ravens, like for no other reason, just because. So yeah.
All right, your games now. Now you have Ravens at the Colts.
Okay. Before y'all call me biased.
I don't think this is a biased pick.
I think.
Remember when you guys all picked the Colts in that game and I picked the Ravens?
Oh yeah, I do remember.
That was last year.
Yeah. I got the Colts because Andrew Luck will. I think eventually it will click. You know what I mean? I think he will have. He will be not what he was, but he'll be kind of almost at that level, and it'll be enough to beat the Ravens, the inconsistent ass Ravens. It'll be enough. I think.
Which would mean an Andrew Luck Colts versus the Patriots.
I guess I gotta go with the Pats because it's in Foxborough, and Andrew Luck, as I said, as amazing as he is, he's still a second-year player. That defense has not played well. Tom Brady's kind of clicking. I guess you gotta go with the. See, look, and I ain't that biased. See that?
And you got Chiefs Bengals.
I got the Chiefs because I think they're better.
So it's Chiefs Denver again.
Yeah, and I don't see why Denver would win.
Right.
I think it's to own them niggas.
So pretty much Denver. Everybody, I think AFC is pretty easy. It's Denver and New England. I mean, we got to wait for redraft.
Okay. So now you got Denver, New England.
I hope not, though, because that's extremely boring. But go ahead.
What?
Now you got Denver.
Because that's extremely boring.
I mean, because that's just it's always boring when the number 1 seed and number 2 seed.
You got Denver, New England again. Who you picking?
Yeah.
It's playoff time. You got to go with Brady.
Oh, really, fool? Because Peyton Manning has a higher quarterback rating than him in the playoffs.
Shut up! I picked Denver.
Both of y'all, just stop it. I don't know, man. That Denver defense, man, it bothers me. So does the Patriots D, but that Denver D really does bother me because that would be a perfect team if they were adequate. If it was just kind of okay, that team would be perfect.
Let's not ignore that the Broncos do have Von Miller and Dominique.
But let's not ignore that they have not played well.
Let's not ignore that
the Packers. We're gonna do it with them.
Let's not ignore that they blew that 24-0 lead once Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie was out of the game right before halftime.
That's true.
Okay, whatever, nigga. That defense kid.
I'm not defending it. They're still great against the run. But
nigga.
But the Patriots are intent on never starting Stephen Ridley ever again with decent reason.
I'm just saying, yeah. I might sound like Phil and Skip Bayless and all of them, but tentatively, I'm gonna go with them damn Patriots.
You're putting the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
I love it.
You're putting them in the Super Bowl, and Phil has them losing? What the fuck is going on?
This is 2012 all over again.
Jesus, man, I can't believe I just did that.
Oh, I love you, Markeem.
You sound like you have such confidence in your prediction there.
I wouldn't have confidence in the Broncos either. That's just being real. That defense is annoying. They're so bad it annoys me. Like real shit.
Honestly, I'll be real too. Well, we'll get to that. But, yeah.
Like, no, that would be a perfect team if they were just okay. Not even good, just all right.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm going to change things up a bit. With decent reason, in my opinion.
Because enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
I'm going to change things up a bit. And I might get some people upset with how structure of the playoffs. But here's the reality. I mean, we all predicted Brady Manning last year in the AFC Championship game, and that didn't happen.
That's true.
Like, I mean, come on. I mean, I just think we just got to start accepting that, look, it's the playoffs. Anything can happen. And in the playoffs, it's all about who gets hot. And so I've constructed...
Yes, it is.
I've constructed my playoffs differently than most people. First off, let me say that I have the Colts winning the 2 seed over the Patriots, and I'll explain why before you all get on me. Can I explain?
You're crazy.
Okay, boy, here we go.
Continue. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm curious to hear this bullshit.
Such confidence you've displayed. All right. Well, first off, the Colts have 4 games left. 2 of them are almost guaranteed wins, in my opinion. At home against the Texans and at home against the Jaguars. So
They have to win
that's
at
a lot.
Arrowhead.
Okay. The Chargers just did that 2 weeks ago. That team's 5-7.
Good point.
We have to start accepting
Division team, though.
We have to start accepting the fact that Chiefs defense, like I said, that the Panthers defense was better, and Marquis was like, "Oh, I don't know about that, kid," and I was like, "No, the Panthers defense is better. Trust me." And then the Chargers go in and Arrowhead.
I'll never trust you with anything. You hear me, motherfucker?
Okay, well, the Chargers went into Arrowhead and dropped 40 points like it was nothing. I don't care how good Phillip Rivers is. That's 40 points. Come on. Have some respect, Arrowhead. I just don't think this Chiefs team is as good as people are giving them credit for, and I've said that all year. I do think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they're always going to struggle against elite quarterbacks. That's why I have the Colts beating them in 2 weeks in Arrowhead. I'm sorry. They struggle with top quarterbacks coming in and putting up a show. They always have. Their cornerbacks are Marcus Cooper, a rookie, who Peyton Manning destroyed this past week, and Sean Smith. I saw Sean Smith play for the Dolphins for years. That guy always breaks down in critical situations when it comes to coverage. He'll lock down a receiver all day, and then he'll crumble when it matters. And if they put T.Y. Hilton against him, he's going to get burnt the fuck down, and he has no shot to cover him. So I have the Colts winning 3 of their last 4. That puts them at 11-5. I have the Patriots finishing 11-5 because I have the Patriots losing to the Ravens. It's in Baltimore, for one. And the Ravens always play more physical than the Patriots are. Is that really such a... And Joe Flacco plays amazing against them. That's not such an inconceivable notion to think that the Patriots are going to lose to the Ravens. Now, I also think the Patriots are going to lose to the Dolphins. And here's why. A, we gave them that great game. We gave them a game in New England. This one's in Miami. And I just think they're not going to be able to run the ball on us, and that's how they beat us at home last year, because Stephen Ridley ate up a 7-minute fourth-quarter drive, and that's how they won 23-17, because they just kept running it, and we couldn't stop them in the fourth quarter last year. They're not going to be running the ball like that anymore. Here's a stat that you guys...
I don't necessarily say that.
Not on us.
I hate to change the subject, but YouTube is ass. I'm uploading the video, and why does this shit say it has 248 minutes remaining?
Don't listen to that. Yeah, YouTube sucks dick. But here's a stat that you guys probably didn't know. The Dolphins have allowed 1 touchdown all year to a wide receiver. And
what?
It was on the road. Yes.
How is that possible?
This defense plays really good at home. Their pass defense is great at home. We gave Phillip Rivers fits, and I think we'd give the Patriots similar fits at home. We'd be playing a lot better. Demetri Patterson would be healthy by then. He picked off Tom Brady in New England last time we played. And our defensive line has only gotten better. No one knows who Olivier Vernon is. Olivier Vernon is the defensive end opposite Cameron Wake. He has 10 sacks in the season. I bet you guys didn't know that. 10.
I had never heard that name until you just said that.
So does Chandler Jones.
Olivier Vernon played for the University of Miami, and he has 10 sacks on the season with 4 games left. So he's very likely to get like 15 by the end of the season, which is amazing, obviously.
So I obviously don't like him now that you told me he played for the University of Miami.
Obviously.
Okay.
The defensive line is only getting better. This defense is just getting better, and I think in Miami, late in December, go back to last time we played the Patriots this late at home, it was 2009, and we beat them. If you go back and look at that. 2010 and 2011, both the games were early in the season. So I got the Dolphins beating the Patriots, and I got the Patriots losing to the Ravens. I don't think that's completely incomprehensible.
No, it's not.
And I've done the simulation. 11-5 is what I predicted the Patriots to have before the season started. And if they and the Colts both go 11-5, I don't know how, but the Colts have the tiebreaker. So it really isn't that crazy.
You sure?
The courage of your convictions
It must be how you.
Did anything I
Muslim
say
name.
did anything I say not make sense?
No, you're good. You're good
I
with me.
explained it pretty clearly so far. It's just how I feel, honestly. I don't know. I just got a feeling. But anyways, next after all those nice things I said about the Dolphins, I don't think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs. I think the Dolphins are going to lose this week to Pittsburgh, then beat the Patriots, and find a way to lose to either the Bills or the Jets. And the reason being, I can't do it anymore. Every year before the season, I know the Dolphins are going to go 7-9, and they still manage to fucking crush me by somehow having these ridiculously close games against top teams and making you think they have a shot and just blowing it at the last minute. And they did it again against Carolina 2 weeks ago. And honestly, I'm just tired of being optimistic with this team. This team will let me down. It always does. I can't possibly come up on here with faith and conviction say, oh yeah, we're going 9-7, we're winning the division, we're going to make the playoffs this year. I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm tired of this. This team, our coaches suck. Mike Sherman is one of the worst offensive coordinators in all of football. Joe Philbin cannot motivate at all. He can draw a great game plan, but he can't motivate players to play better than they actually are. It's just never going to work. When it comes to crunch time these last few weeks against 3 division opponents, I just can't see this team pulling out wins each time. I just can't trust them. So if they do it, great. If we beat the Steelers this week, like I said, I really do think that's the turning point of the franchise because I do think we're beating the Patriots. So if we beat the Steelers, fantastic. Maybe I'll come back next week with a different tune. But I just can't. I can't trust them. I can trust the Ravens. I think they're a lot worse as a team this year. I think that offense is a lot worse, and the defense is slightly worse. And I don't think they have the leadership intangibles to make a run in the playoffs like they did last year. But I mean, I can trust them. They make the playoffs every year. I can't trust the Dolphins. They've burned me far too much.
Keep in mind. I just want to add this. I have the Dolphins in the playoffs, and I have them losing to New England. So.
No, yeah. and a lot of people are picking us to beat Pittsburgh and lose to New England and beat the Bills and the Jets, and I get that. But
you make a good point too, and I can see that. I think if they beat New England, they're definitely in the playoffs.
That may be true, but I'm not so confident we'll beat the Jets a second time. I can't remember the last time we swept the Jets, and there have been years where the Jets have been pretty horrible.
Right, I understand. Right.
We didn't sweep them last year.
Right, it's hard to sweep. Period. I mean, look, like I said, New England's only done it like last year was the first time in like forever since 07.
That they won 6-0 in the division.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's tough. It's tough for me to just actively just do this with the Dolphins. So I got the Ravens in the playoffs as the 6th seed. I got the Chiefs as the 5th seed. I got the Bengals as the 4th seed. The Patriots as the 3. The Colts as the 2. The Broncos as the 1. My opinion, of course. In the first round, I got Patriots and Ravens. Obviously, I have the Patriots losing in the first round. Not true. I do have the Patriots winning this game. I just think the Ravens will beat them twice, even though they did last year. And it'll be in New England, and I just think. I don't know. I just don't trust this Ravens team that much. I expect them to beat New England like on a Sunday night atmosphere, like getting all pumped up. I can definitely see that. I can't though. I can't with good faith see them. I can't with good faith see them beating New England in the playoffs. So that Ravens team is just not that good this year. Then I have Chiefs versus Bengals. I have the Chiefs as well. Just because you can trust Andy Reid in the postseason, you can't trust Marvin Lewis. And you can't trust Andy Dalton. Andy Reid, what's the stat, Markeem? That every time the Eagles made the playoffs with him, they went to the NFC Championship game minus 1 year?
Yep.
Isn't that the stat? Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets it done in the playoffs, and I just can't trust Marvin Lewis at all. It's on my record that he'll never win a playoff game. I'm sticking with that.
No. It's that we win a game every year except one time or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still.
Something like that.
And
except for the year you lost to like the Cowboys, I think.
It was the year that Michael Vick got hurt. It was the year Michael Vick got hurt.
Don't do that. Don't do that. But yes, you are right.
So then my second round I have Patriots versus Colts and Broncos versus Chiefs. I'm actually worried about that game for Denver. It's just very tough to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. Wouldn't surprise me at all if the Chiefs win that one at all. But I'm going to go with good faith and pick Denver just because I don't think Peyton Manning will lose the first playoff game again. But not confident in that one at all. It's so tough to beat a team 3 times in a row, especially a team as good as Kansas City. And then Patriots versus Colts. I'm going to go with the Colts here before I get shit on. Purely because I think the Colts they're at home in my bracket, and I think Andrew Luck would be in position to make a run. He's someone I can trust in the postseason, and I think the team would perform really well.
You think so? That's my boy, but he hadn't done anything in the postseason yet.
Come on. He played okay last year for the team he was given. And whatchamacallit,
Man, Peyton Manning versus Andrew Luck in the AFC Championship game. Skip Bayless would have a nightmare.
Do y'all know how hard? Like, y'all think I'm bad now. Oh, my God.
And Peyton gets his revenge on Andrew Luck and goes to the Super Bowl.
So, yeah, obviously I have Broncos-Colts in the championship game. I got Broncos winning. Again, I recognize the Colts have these problems. I fully understand. I've been watching the team. I saw them get destroyed by St. Louis. I saw them get destroyed by Arizona. I get it. They struggle against these physical NFC teams. Problem is, none of those teams really exist right now in the AFC that they're facing.
Right. Well, and the team's got to make a run, so I mean, and I'm actually applauding you because if you had picked the Patriots, we would have all had Denver Patriots.
Yes.
Like, that would have been boring.
and it's just not going to go down like that. I mean, Denver can lose, Patriots can lose. I mean, I just don't think
I think one of them's losing. I honestly do think one of them's losing. I mean, obviously I didn't pick that, but
that's why I'm going out on a limb. The courage of my convictions.
Yeah, hit the desk. Yeah,
the courage of my convictions. And amongst all that, I should mention that I do think the Bengals are going to win this week. But, yeah, that's just my thought process behind all this. I think the Colts, if my plan comes together how I think it should, I have the Colts in the AFC Championship game. I got Broncos beating them this time. I just don't think the Broncos lose to them twice either, especially now that the Colts don't have Reggie Wayne. And I have the Broncos in the Super Bowl, like Phil. That's my AFC side. All right, Phil, NFC, go.
NFC, man, I can't wait. For number one seed, I don't want to hear any. You don't have. There is no other options. It's Seattle, bar none. Seattle's number one seed. They're not losing that. The number two seed will be the New Orleans Saints. They will finish the year 12-4, and I'll get to that. The reason why they're going to be in the second seed later on. But third seed, I have Marquise and my friend Curtis. Philadelphia Eagles win the NFC East, the NFC crap fest East. The division that I tried to defend and look like an idiot for. But the NFC East, Nick Foles is beasting. The dude is about to beat Peyton Manning's record that a lot of people are not knowing that. That Peyton Manning set, I don't know, this year. but anyways, I like what Nick Foles is doing. I like what Chip Kelly is doing with Nick Foles. Yeah, and I like that.
Michael Vick should be playing right now because he's a better option.
Shut up. Eagles win. Eagles have the third seed. Fourth seed, I have the Detroit Lions. The Lions are gonna win that division by default. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers, when he'll get back. If he's not back this week, then the Packers are officially done. So he's got to come back this week. But
boy, they suck without him.
Yeah.
My God.
MVP should honestly be Aaron Rodgers. But fifth seed, I have Carolina. They're making the playoffs. Carolina's will have the fifth seed, and then at sixth, I have San Francisco. That's clear. The only non-clear thing here is who's winning the NFC East, I think, to me. So, non-clear thing that you can really, you could say Eagles or Cowboys, but whatever. So my matchups would be sixth seed San Francisco going to Philly, third seed, and I've got, even though I think that's an upset, but I think most people would be leaning towards San Francisco. I'm going to go with the actual upset, even though it's the third seed would win this matchup. I got the Eagles beating San Fran.
Damn, impressed.
They would go on to face New Orleans in New Orleans. Then we have Carolina winning at Detroit. I think Carolina's clearly just a better talented team, and they're going to have their team built for a run in the playoffs. Their only problem is they're going to have to play Seattle. That's their biggest problem. Carolina at Seattle is going to be an amazing game. I hope we get this. Hope it works out that way. Obviously, they lost to Seattle early in the year, but they weren't the same team at that time. Neither teams were really. Carolina goes to Seattle. They fight, they battle, but Seattle wins it. Seattle goes to the NFC Championship game to play the Saints, who beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if it's. I'm not going to say that's even close, really. I think Saints win pretty convincingly. I'm not saying a lot, but whatever. Saints win that game against the Eagles, so we get a rematch of the ugly game we saw
In the same stadium.
In the same stadium. It's in Seattle, and not saying it's going to be the same scenario. I think Drew Brees does not let that happen again. But Seattle wins this game, no doubt in my mind. Saints are not going to Seattle. No one. Put that on my record. I don't care who it is. I don't care.
I'm not putting that on your record. That's
what?
too. It's that because that's too.
No, listen.
Common.
No, what I'm saying, no one. No, you don't know what I'm saying. No one. It doesn't matter if I'm wrong about my playoff prediction. No one will beat Seattle in the playoffs at Seattle.
Oh, okay, no. I'm still agreeing with you. I think
What?
many people would say that. It's decent. I'll put it.
But anyways, you can put it as a little side note. But anyways, no one's winning at Seattle this year. But so Seattle goes on to win to go to the Super Bowl and to win the Super Bowl. I have them winning. I don't know if we were going to wait, but I have Seattle winning the Super Bowl, and it's going to be great. I honestly think. No matter what, I think the matchup to win the Super Bowl comes down. The Super Bowl champion comes down to Carolina at Seattle. I honestly feel like that's what I feel like this year. I think Carolina's got that team. They could go and then somehow beat Seattle. Then they could go to New Orleans and battle them there. Then I guess it would come down to that matchup. But yeah, I got excuse me, my voice has went out. But yeah, I don't think AFC good luck this year. You're not winning this year because AFC whoever comes out of the AFC is not going to have a top defense. It's not going to happen. I mean, I guess Chiefs can make a run or the Bengals can make a run, but are they going to go to the Super Bowl? Come on, Bengals and Chiefs are not going to the Super Bowl. So, or even if Miami made a wild card, but yeah. So I got I got Seattle over Denver in the Super Bowl.
All right then.
Which would be both number 1 seeds. Which guess what? That's not happening. So.
Happened before.
Happened once.
Rarely, yes, I know.
Once.
Phil.
That was close.
I mean, not Phil. Black guy. Marquis.
Black guy.
Why? Fried chicken.
Before I start, I fucking hate YouTube. This shit says 560 minutes now.
560 minutes.
Kind of ridiculous. But do I have to leave this page open or can I close the shit?
Do not close it. That's a surefire way to kill the upload.
You can't close it.
That is fuck YouTube. But anyway, yes, my seeds. Number 1 overall seed. If anyone that says anyone other than Seattle, I think they are complete idiots. There's no you should not talk sports. Fuck football. You should not talk sports anymore if you don't think Seattle will be the number 1 seed in NFC. You're smoking. Number 2, it probably end up being the Saints because they're so far ahead of everyone else. Everyone else has real problems. Then number 3, I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Number 4, I'm gonna go with the Lions. And that's 2 wild card teams.
Copycat.
I mean, dog, it's the most obvious thing.
Yeah, I know.
Minus whoever you choose in the NFC East winner, or the last 2, pretty, but the top 2 are pretty much a given. Then let's see, the wild cards, obviously Carolina, and San Francisco, obviously. Okay, so San Francisco will be my last though. Carolina will be my 5 seed. San Francisco will be the 6 seed, in my opinion. But what's the matchups after that, kid? It's your job. Stop typing.
It's not. No, this is your playoff. You can have common sense to figure out your own goddamn bracket. Fine.
No,
right, I'll help him. I'll help him.
You have the exact same wild card round that Phil did. 49ers, Eagles, Panthers, Lions.
You better stop talking shit to me, nigga. I got the Panthers over the Lions, and I think honestly, that's gonna be kind of an ass whooping. Yeah, I think they're gonna beat the shit out of them. And Eagles and Niners, right? I actually got the Eagles. Just because I feel like a fan, and I'm proud of what they're doing, and we can actually move the ball. They're playing semi-decent defense. Colin Cap, I kind of hope in a perfect world there was a way we didn't win the division and we snuck into the playoffs, because I think we'd be the most dangerous team in the playoffs because we are amazing on the road. But yeah, I think that I think that this game will be high scoring. Believe it or not, and I think somehow the Eagles pull it out, beat the Niners, move on to the next round. And the next round, matchups with Seattle and Carolina, and Seattle and Carolina. What's the other one?
Eagles, Saints.
Eagles, yeah.
Saints. I actually got the Panthers over the goddamn Seahawks. Yes,
In
yes,
Seattle.
I'm going there. That's right. I am going there. This will be the most boring, most field goal in this game I've ever seen in my life. But I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. I think that the stars are aligned for Cam Newton right now. I think they have a rhythm, and the rhythm is working. And I think if they don't stray from the rhythm, I don't see why they would lose, to be honest with you. I got the Panthers. I think that when they're at their best, even though we saw the Seahawks unleashed against the Saints, but the Saints, we all know, are like kind of shit on the road. Not even like a different team, kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I think when they're clicking, the Panthers look phenomenal, to be honest with you. And the Seahawks do too, but I think the Panthers phenomenal is better than the Seahawks phenomenal when they're completely clicking. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. And here is the bold one. The really bold one.
No.
I got the Eagles over the Saints in the Superdome. Let me explain why.
Eagles win a few games and Markeem starts nut loving them.
Hold on.
This would mean the Eagles would have home field advantage for the NFC Championship game.
Yes. Hold on.
Okay, let him go.
I think that hold on.
No. Did he really just leave?
Yeah.
What the hell? I'm not even gonna pause the recording. Fuck that noise.
So, how are your guys' weekend?
Now, I'm not pausing the recording. This is what happens a lot of people. For the people that are listening, this happens a lot. Markeem will be in the middle of a point, and will just go, God damn it, stop the recording, and he'll leave. And I'll be like, fuck that shit. But I usually stop the recording to prevent the awkward flow of the podcast. Not today. He can go fuck himself. Whatever it wasn't more important than stuff that we could have been doing here.
What if it's like someone was dying or something?
Would you really say, fuck, hold on? If like a relative died, wouldn't that be like a little more serious and sincere?
So, you don't watch Sons of Anarchy or Homeland, get at it.
I heard Sons of Anarchy was incredible lately.
Jeez. Also check out The Blacklist.
I heard that was also good too. This is all on the show.
I guess while Markeem's gone, I'll take the time to shout out to Coastal Carolina, who won a huge playoff game at home this weekend. Thank you. Moving on to the next.
Really?
Hey, the ladies' match. What was I saying?
Well, I never paused the recording, so you're still on the air.
Yeah, what was the last thing I said?
You said, I have a gut feeling about this.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the Eagles.
We're going to beat the Saints, and I'll tell you why. Because of the speed of the offense. Rex Ryan has improved a lot, but against the no-huddle, they have shown hope. Look. Well, my man, Rob Ryan. Y'all niggas know who I'm talking about. Rob Ryan has improved. The one with the long hair. Not the other one. The one with the long hair. The scruffy-looking one. He's improved a lot. You know what I mean? But against the no-huddle, they have struggled. Ask Tom Brady about that shit at the end of that game. You know what I mean? And ask Tom Brady, period, about that. Because he did well against them in the second half. But they was just imploding. Remember that shit? Remember that shit? We're going to act like that didn't happen? We're just going to ignore that. And Chip Kelly's whole offense is no-huddle. I think we win. We win a shootout in New Orleans. And then I'm going to be on cloud 9 that week. Go. Then it all goes. And then it all goes.
No. Go ahead and put the Eagles in the Super Bowl, please. Like I'm begging you.
I'm not that crazy. I think it all goes to shit next week because I think Carolina absolutely destroys us. I think whoever wins that Carolina and Seahawks game destroys us. But I think it's gonna be Carolina, so they destroy us. Like we lose by like damn near 30. I think.
Markeem.
No.
Markeem, you're gonna do this to your Eagles and make them lose another NFC championship.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. That's what I think. You know? And I think in the Super Bowl, I got the Panthers over the Patriots. They get revenge for that loss 10 years ago.
Oh no, I couldn't handle that. LV would love it.
That's my prediction.
That's the beauty of this podcast. I was gonna say, like, at first I was like, God damn it, Markeem. You're picking the playoffs like exactly the same way as Phil. This is boring. What the fuck? And then you just completely throw a
right.
curveball at my head.
All right,
with the
all right,
Eagles.
kid. Go ahead. Go ahead with your picks, because I got the lady on the line. I'm going to talk to her, and then when y'all niggas need me, just call my name. I'll be back.
Wait, what? You're just going to not listen to my picks?
Wow.
No,
Okay.
I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to listen to him. I just won't be talking.
He ain't gonna listen.
You ain't going to listen.
No, I am listening. I'm listening.
All right, well, because Big Red has to be the one to save the NFL talk when it comes to predicting the unexpected, I'll come in and save it. As we all know, the NFL never works the way you want it to. That's why I make predictions like Chargers will beat the Chiefs, Jets will beat the Patriots. I've been told that I'm too radical sometimes, but you can never predict stuff like that happening. You can never predict these losses that you just don't see coming. I try to predict the future. I try to look at matchups from a different angle than most people do and try to perceive things to be different. So my playoffs are going to be different. I think I'm going to say a few words about all these teams. First off, obviously, I'm not different with the Seahawks. I do think they're going to be the 1 seed. I'm pretty confident in that. The 2 seed, I have the Carolina Panthers. I've been saying it all year. I am not a fan of the Saints team at all. I just think they're overrated. Every time I see them play, I'm just never impressed. This team lost to the fucking Jets. Come on. And now they're coming off a huge emotional game against the Seahawks. They just got their asses beat. Carolina's looked great lately. I mean, yes, it's in New Orleans, but San Francisco almost beat them in New Orleans. I have no reason to believe why the Panthers won't win this game. They just they just look so much better than the Saints in every facet. Maybe their offense isn't as good, but it looked better this week. I just trust Carolina more. I don't know why. I'm just not a fan of the Saints this year. I really haven't been all year. Before the season, I predicted them to go to 10-6 and miss the playoffs. I think Carolina, whether Carolina sweeps them or Carolina just splits with them, I see Carolina winning this division. Not a fan of New Orleans. Well, not. Yes, they murdered my Dolphins. Absolutely murdered them, which I predicted to happen. And I was fine with that. I was like, okay, what are you going to do? I kind of saw this coming. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I just look at their schedule. They go at St. Louis next week. St. Louis is a really physical team. Why wouldn't they lose that game if they lost to the Jets? They're built very similarly. Then they go at Carolina. I have no reason to believe they won't lose that game either. And then they play the Buccaneers again, who almost beat them in week 2. So I just don't trust the Saints. I see the Panthers winning this division. The Panthers are a team I can trust. I can't trust the Saints. I get why everyone's picking them, but I've never been impressed with the Saints. Not once all season, except when they beat my Dolphins. I got the Panthers pretty convincingly winning the 2nd seed, in my opinion. So yeah, I got the Panthers here, then I got the Lions. I just trust them. They have a pretty simple schedule. They have the Ravens and Giants both at home. I think they win both of those games. Then they have the Vikings on the road. I think they win that game as well. I just trust the Lions to get that 3 seed. My 4 seed, I have the Dallas Cowboys. I know I've been criticized for giving the Cowboys too much love and respect. This Eagles team not too long ago was looking pretty terrible. Cowboys have kind of been the same team all year. I trust Tony Romo more than I trust Nick Foles. The Cowboys have been looking great lately. They looked great against Oakland. And I just think this is the year that something special happens. I just think this is the year that they start to win week by week and go on this quick little run, and they start to do good things. Wouldn't be surprised at all if they blow it. That is the Dallas way. But, I mean, I just got a feeling. I'm also looking at their schedule right now. They play the Redskins. They play the Eagles. Obviously, Week 15 is the big game. They play the Packers. That's a win. I like the Cowboys in this game. Then my 5th seed, I have the 49ers. And my 6th seed, I have the New Orleans Saints. I know I maybe... Actually, no. 5th seed, I have the Saints just because they have a 2-game lead. But the 6th seed, I have the 49ers. I just don't trust the Saints at all. Not going to lie. So much so that in my wild card round, 49ers versus Lions, I have the 49ers winning. I'm shocked that I'm the only person in this call who has the 49ers going to the 2nd round.
Just because of matchup. Yeah.
But, I guess that...
You have them against the Lions, so I mean...
That is true. But yeah, I have them clearly beating the Lions. I think that game... I don't trust the Lions in the playoffs. Then I have Saints versus Cowboys. I have the Cowboys.
Does anybody?
That's true. I have Saints versus Cowboys. I have the Cowboys in this game. I still don't trust New Orleans. I know the Saints killed them last time. This time it's in Dallas. I think Dallas will play a lot better. And I trust the Cowboys. I trust them to make a small run in the postseason. Then I have Cowboys versus Panthers, and Seahawks, and 49ers versus Seahawks. I have the Seahawks winning that one. I think 49ers beat them this week, but I just trust Seattle to get it done. Cowboys, Panthers, I'm very, very tempted to pick the Cowboys here, but I'm going to stick with the Panthers just because they have a better coach, in my opinion. They've been playing better, but would not surprise me at all if Dallas wins that game at all. But I'm going to trust Carolina to get the job done. And I have the same game that all of you guys have, but I have it in the NFC Championship game where it belongs. Panthers, Seahawks. I agree with you, Phil. I also have the Seahawks here. Russell Wilson's special, and I just can't see them losing at home either. That's why I didn't want to put it on your record, because I had the same opinion. But
Right.
For me, I have my Broncos versus Seahawks Super Bowl exactly as you, except I have the Broncos winning this one. This would be Seattle's first road game in X amount of weeks. Well, not road game, but it's not a home game.
Right.
And I think
neutral field.
Yes, and I think they'd struggle, and I really do think that if Peyton Manning gets back to a Super Bowl, I really think he's going to win it. That Denver, people forget how many points that Denver team scores. Yeah, I know their defense sucks, but they're scoring more points than the 07 Patriots, and the 07 Patriots made it to the Super Bowl. And I know they had a better defense, but if you look at
and who did they lose to? A great defense.
But if you look at all the teams that lead NFL history with most points scored in a season, you're looking at the 1999 Rams, the 2007 Patriots. Like, all these teams go to the Super Bowl, with the exception of like the 1998 Vikings. But all the highest scoring teams in NFL history go to the Super Bowl. So
they go, but they don't win.
Well, the Rams did, and I have them winning. I think it'd be a very good game, but I think Peyton Manning would not be denied. I really have a gut feeling that this is the year he wins that second ring. I can't explain it, just my gut, just like why I have the Cowboys doing so well in the playoffs, just like why I have the Colts getting the second seed. I'm sticking to my convictions. Broncos, Seahawks. I know it's the obvious Super Bowl pick that everyone's picking. I'm actually kind of proud that Marquis picked something different. But I got the Broncos.
He had Panthers or Patriots, right?
Yeah. But I got the Broncos, so that's our picks. I have the Broncos winning the Super Bowl. Phil, you have the Seahawks. Marquis has the Panthers. Me and Phil have the same Super Bowl. And different winner. Marquis and Phil have the same AFC Championship game, different winner. And Marquis and Phil and myself all have the same Panther-Seahawks game, all with me and you with the same winner, Marquis with a different winner.
And let me say this. Based kind of this is something you said. Like, you always know that expect the unexpected, so you go ahead and bet against it.
Yeah.
Against expected. The thing is like I'm a lot of times, I'm like that too, but this time I'm going with it. But I know that I'm going to be like it. It always feels like, I don't know. It's not sometimes you get it right, but it always feels like whichever one you go with. So like, you're going against it, and so when you're wrong, it makes you look that much worse.
That is true.
Or if you go with it like me and you get it wrong, you're like, oh well, that was what everybody had, kind of thing. So
it's an interesting dynamic, but
I would love to see Seattle and Denver in the Super Bowl, but my mind says, on paper that's what should happen, but it's just playoffs. Weird things happen in the playoffs, so I just.
Well, before the season last year, everyone said Ravens-Niners, and
right.
it looked like that wasn't going to happen, but that ended up happening. And before the season this year, everyone said Broncos-Seahawks, so you never know. And
no. Before the season, people had Broncos-Niners. I think Niners.
And I heard a lot of Broncos-Seahawks too.
I didn't hear that much Seattle, but
I did. Well,
I had Falcons, so who am I to talk?
And I had the Houston Texans, so who am I to talk?
Oh, wow. Yours is worse than... Well, no, it's not. It's the same.
It's practically the same. Yeah, I did have the Seahawks, though. But I think it should be noted that even though I have an extremely different method of picking games than you do, we have the same Super Bowl. Different winner, but we have the same Super Bowl.
Right. I just don't see anybody beating Seattle, and it's like, with Denver, it's just like... I see somebody beating Denver, honestly. I said this before. I have a feeling this year that Denver doesn't make it to the Super Bowl, but I don't have that team to pick. Like, even my Patriots, I don't even feel like I can pick them.
Completely.
If it's in New England, though, of course, like I said, that changes. And my Super Bowl is New England and Seattle, so.
Completely understandable.